Okay, in our previous video, we found that the circulation around a tiny little rectangle inside our region that's enclosed by the curve C is the curl times a delta x delta y. So notice first that, oops, I finished writing the curl here, that this is a little area element, which represents the area of our rectangle, delta x times delta y. So we have that the circulation around a tiny little rectangle is this curl, which actually represents circulation density, so circulation per unit area. And we're going to multiply that by a little area element. And that's going to give us ultimately the circulation around the tiny little rectangle as we let delta x and delta y get very, very small. But let's think about how we might use this to find the circulation over an entire curve and get to Green's theorem. So here we have a curve oriented in the positive orientation, and I can take this curve and split it into two curves by just putting a line through the middle. And I can think of this as, okay, well, we can traverse our curve C in the in the positive direction this way, and then we'll go up that way. And then the other curve here, C2, we can traverse in the counterclockwise direction this way, and then we'll go down that way. These are adjacent, by the way. So we'll call this C sub 2. But notice that the integral over curve C of our dot product between f and the tangent, right? That is equal to the integral along C sub 1 plus the integral along C sub 2. And the reason that this happens, that I can write this sum, is because in this little middle section, we're measuring circulation along one piece going up and then another same piece going down. And so those are going to cancel each other out. One positive circulation, the other direction will be negative, or vice versa. So these will cancel out. So we can write the circulation over the entire curve as the sum of these two pieces. And the reason we're doing that is because then we can take our curve and apply our idea with these little rectangles, right? I can take our curve C and split it up into n number of rectangles, tiny, tiny rectangles. Something like this. And all of the circulation along the segments of these little rectangles are going to cancel out by the adjacent rectangles. All of them. The only thing that will be left will be the circulation along the curve. So we can write that the circulation along our curve, f dot dr, curve is closed, will be the sum of the circulation along the boundaries of the tiny rectangles. And we know that this sum has something to do with our expression up here, right? The circulation along one of these little tiny rectangles has a lot to do with this little expression. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to let the number of rectangles go to to infinity, or we're going to let delta x go to 0 and delta y go to 0. When we do that, our line integral along the boundary will be the sum of the areas of those little circulation densities along each of these little rectangles, right? And that was our curl and here we have our little area element delta x delta y. when we take the sum of these, when we take the limit as delta x and delta y go to 0, we are going to get a double integral because we're adding this up over the areas of these little rectangles. And so we're going to get Green's theorem, where we have vector field times the r prime of t dt. That's going to be equal to a double integral over the region where where we kind of count up the circulations of these little rectangles along x first and then along y, of the curl times our little area element. And that has given us then Green's theorem. So this is Green's theorem, and it's the circulation form. I should clarify that this is circulation along the outside of the curve. This is saying here, well, that's just the curl, but that really means circulation density. So the circulation per unit area that we're then multiplying by our area element. So this is circulation density. And so the curl, this gives a little clarification what the curl measures. It tells us the circulation at every point inside of a region on our vector field. Similarly, we derive, I'm not going to do it because that took me 2 videos, but Green's theorem flux form, you do exactly the same thing. Let me write this down. Green's theorem flux form, it just looks slightly different, right? So let's write down the flux form. And when we're looking at flux, we're thinking about how much of the vector field is going through the curve. And so we're doing the dot product of f dot n ds. And Green's theorem tells us that this is going to be the double integral over the region. This time, we're going to have the partial of p with respect to x plus the partial of q with respect to y times an area element. And you might recognize that this is actually, well, this is called the divergence of the vector field, sometimes denoted div f. And it measures flux density per unit area, right? So it tells us how much flux per unit area. We multiply by the area element, add them all up, and it gives us the flux around the entire curve along the boundary. And that is the version of Green's theorem that tells us how to calculate the line integral, the flux line integral for a vector field over a curve.